not gonna be using Windows on it. We're gonna see if we can take the hard drive out. Now, I don't know how to take the hard drive out. I looked at this before, and I think we use a flathead to remove this screw, hopefully. Alright, so I shouldn't have taken this out because we kind of need it to, because we can dual boot, and I had no idea that we could dual boot with Bazzite, so we're just kind of gonna stick this back together and hope that I didn't ruin anything. We're not gonna put it back together fully because it's gonna be annoying to do everything again. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it like this and then hope that. All right, we got everything plugged back in. There's still no top on the visual machine, but we should be able to just boot up the thing, hopefully. Bazzite. Sorry if you hear bombs going off outside. My neighbors are celebrating, you know, New Year's. I'm recording this on New Year's, by the way, as you can see in the bottom right. I'm gonna do my first setup of Bazzite, and then, you know, we're just gonna see what happens. All right, I was gonna try to save, like do a dual boot with Windows and Bazzite, but there's not enough space on this hard drive to do a dual boot, so we're just gonna do Bazzite and hope that that works. All right, Bazzite was bugged. Now we're trying Chimera OS, and we'll see how this one goes. All right, it's kind of just getting stuck in this loop of telling me that there's no boot device found, even though there is a boot device found. So I tried to enable secure boot, and now everything is just falling apart. So now we're gonna try to reboot, and if that doesn't work, we're just gonna boot back into the BIOS, because I think I know what's going on. It also changed the font. That wasn't like that before. This is also not the same boot menu. I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna see if I can change this to UEFI. Okay, well now it's set to UEFI. I don't know why or what's going on, but I'm gonna try to check this really weird BIOS and see if I can find anything. Okay, secure boot just kind of did its thing anyways. That error, I guess, just now what? Failed secure boot. Okay. Well, now I guess we can reboot into setup and see if I can change anything there. Okay, so apparently this wasn't the BIOS, this is just the setup. Even though I was holding the BIOS key and it told me that it was booting into BIOS. But I'm gonna try to see what could be going wrong with this. I pressed F5 and now we're here. If that's the correct CPU temp, that's, oh wait, that's current, okay. I was about to say, that's pretty high, but it's just checking the hard drive, and I have no idea if this hard drive even works still. I hope it does, but there's always a chance it doesn't. This fan is also going crazy. Alright, well all the tests ran, and that was completely useless because nothing happened. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get secure boot turned off on this, and hopefully, it says that it's set to UEFI secure boot, so I have zero idea what's happening. It doesn't want to boot any of this though, so I have no idea what to do. All right, I just installed a different operating system, and we're still on Grub Rescue. Great. Okay, it's launching Fedora now. It looks just like Bazzite launcher. I've never used, this is probably just the default Linux launcher. I've never ever used any type of Linux before, so I have zero idea. Okay, I'm gonna try to install this and see if it works, and then if it does in fact work, if it does like install, I'm gonna try Bazzite again, because that's the closest we've gotten to having something install at all, other than Fedora Linux, obviously. But I'm gonna try to do Bazzite. It's not 3:59 a.m. I have no idea what this is talking about, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get Bazzite to load after I get Fedora Linux to load. Alright, it told me to restart my system to boot into Fedora Linux. I have no idea if it'll work. It said installation successful and it booted into a live environment, so...
Nope.
Okay. So I have an idea on what is going on. It's looking for a grub file that only Etcher has, and I've been using Rufus so far. So I'm gonna try to redo Bazite with Etcher instead and see if that launches, and if it doesn't, then I'm gonna do Fedora Linux. After like 30 minutes, we can finally finish the installation. I think that means we're booting. That's what happened last time whenever I tried to do boot into live. So, I mean, the mouse is here, but I don't know why the name didn't stick. Login failed. Alright, I just tried to open Steam, and I really hope it opens, because I'm sure something's gonna go terribly wrong whenever I try to open Steam. Alright, we're here in big picture mode now. Alright, we're gonna download the game, the one game, because I'm sure the network on my PC is not the quickest. Okay, well, to take that back, but I might try downloading, maybe, I have no idea. I might try Gary's mod and a few other things, but so far we're just gonna try Half-Life. Okay, is not having a fun time downloading Half-Life. I better record this quick because New Year's is in like 5 minutes as I'm recording this, but it feels a little bit better than Windows. I'm getting mauled right now, but it feels a little bit better than Windows. You quit! It feels better than Windows, but I can't feel much of a difference because it's a 60 hertz monitor. I'll be able to tell, but I've tried for like 2 or 3 hours now to get the counter to show up on the screen and nothing will go on, so